KSK Sports here, and it's a little bit of a I don't know if I want to say sad day for the Cleveland Browns. I'm more surprised and shocked more than sad that Myles Garrett got traded from my beloved Cleveland Browns to the LA Rams. Yeah, my thoughts on the matter. I'm gathering my thoughts. Usually, like when I go into these videos, I have a little bit more understanding what I'm going to say. I don't really have a script, but I go in my head before I come on here knowing what I want to say. I really don't know what I want to say, and it's just going to be like really off the cuff here. But I could go down one road where it's like, I'm mad that the Cleveland Browns did this. How dare the Cleveland Browns trade away Myles Garrett, the guy that just had 23 sacks, a single season sack record. But on the other hand, I'm looking at it from a logical perspective. And I'm like, they have draft compensation that's added onto the number one first round pick that they're going to get from the Rams. And on top of that, they're getting Jared Verse. I don't know what the draft compensation is, so I'm very interested to see what's the additional draft compensation they're going to get. And I saw Andrew Berry speak today. He spoke at the Browns have a golf outing today. So he spoke and he said that the trade. My bad. The trade isn't all the way completed yet. It's not a finalized trade. It's pretty much in binding. I believe that the transaction is going to go through. I believe wholeheartedly the trade is going to happen. I'm very interested to see like the Browns trying to get another first out of this, because if they're only going to get one first round pick out of this deal, then it's a horrible trade. Like, Myles Garrett requires at least 2 or 3 first-round picks. I think that's what Andrew Berry is referring to when he's saying that this transaction is not complete and we're still in discussions. I will hope that the discussions are, hey, man, we're going to need some more first-round draft capital. We're going to need a first-round pick in 2028 and 2029 for the services of Myles Garrett. I'm just saying, I understand he's 30 years old, but this guy is coming off one of the greatest seasons that has ever happened from a defensive player, a defensive end in particular, edge rusher, in NFL history, by getting 23 sacks and breaking Michael Strahan's single season sack record. So I'm interested to see what the draft compensation is for this trade. Is it just a first round pick and a second round pick and like a fifth? Or is it like 3 first round picks and a second round pick and a 6th round pick? Because that is going to sway a lot of opinions. Right now, I understand if a lot of Browns fans are upset. I mean, I'm upset, but I'm not to the point where it's like, I understand that the NFL is a business. And, creating content on Meta since 2017. That's coincidentally the year that Myles Garrett got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. So the past 9 years, I've created content over here, and since December 5th on YouTube, focusing just on Browns content. I've experienced in that time Joe Hayden getting cut from the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield getting traded from the Cleveland Browns, and the Deshaun Watson transaction that happened. In hindsight, is the worst transaction in sports history, but at the time it felt like it was a swing at the fences. I didn't mind the decision at the time, but this one hits a little different because Myles Garrett, he's been with the Cleveland Browns for 9 years. He's been so great with the Cleveland Browns. So it hits a little different because Browns fans, if you talk to the average Browns fans, above all is loyalty. Browns, we love us the homegrown players, the hometown, not the hometown with Myles, but the homegrown players, the guys that got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. That was Myles Garrett. He's our guy. We don't look fondly on outsiders, but he's our guy. Now he's not our guy, so that hurts a little bit. But from a business aspect from it, and just looking at it, looking forward for the Cleveland Browns, I don't mind this move at all. And if you look at the tea leaves that have come from Myles Garrett, he wanted to be traded last offseason. They didn't. they didn't. They didn't oblige to his trade request. It's a year after that, and also they changed some language in his contract that would make it easier to trade Myles Garrett. So that should have been a red flag right there. And I've been giving the Cleveland media a lot of trouble, a lot of heat. They were right on this. They were saying, hey, man, there's smoke, there's fire. And I made a few videos like, hey, man, these Cleveland media don't know what they're talking about. Hey, once in a while, they get it right, and I was wrong. I was totally wrong about this. I thought there was like a 5 to 10% chance that he would get traded. Apparently, Cleveland media, they knew something that I didn't know. So, I mean, that's sometimes they are right, so I will give them credit where credit is due. I'm not going to give them too much credit because they do have more information than I do. But yeah, moving forward for the Cleveland Browns, what do I think about this decision to trade Myles Garrett away to the LA Rams? I want to see what the additional draft compensation is, because they get a 2027 first round pick from the LA Rams, which is going to be most likely a high draft pick. What I mean by high draft pick is probably going to be in the 20 to 30 range, because I do believe that the LA Rams are going to compete for a Super Bowl. I was about to say World Series. Super Bowl championship. And they get Jared Verse, who is a 2-time Pro Bowler, Dayton, Ohio native. So I do like that they get a player in return on top of the first round draft compensation and additional draft capital that we don't know yet. Like Andrew Berry, like I said earlier, a couple of minutes ago, Andrew Berry is still working the details out. I would hope that the Cleveland Browns are getting more than just the number one pick, first round pick. For a transaction like this, for the defensive player of the year, DPOY, I'm going to need to have 3 first round picks. I can't just have 1 first round pick. So I think a lot of Browns fans are kind of hot and heated about that. So we're going to need more first round picks. Period. Because it's Myles Garrett. He's been awesome for a while. He's on pace. If he's on pace, if he plays a certain amount of time to break Bruce Smith's all-time sack record. So he's going to go down as maybe the greatest pass rusher of all time. What is that worth in the open market? He's 30 years old, I understand that, but he's coming off his greatest feat, his greatest season. One of the greatest seasons from a defensive player in NFL history. What is that worth? It has to be worth them more than 1 first-round pick. I mean, that needs to be the talk that's going on with Andrew Berry and the GM for the LA Rams. We need to get more first-round picks out of this. We need to get at least 2. I would like 3, but if we got a 2028 first-round pick as well, because the LA Rams they have been on record saying infamously F them picks. So if it's really F them picks and we don't care about first-round picks, yeah, we're going to need a 2028 first-round pick from you guys, too, if you have it. I don't know if you have it or not. Well, I know we're getting a 27 first-round pick from them. So it's like, are they positioning to look at Arch Mann? That's what a lot of people are saying. Hey, the Cleveland Browns, they're positioning to get Arch Mann. I don't know. I mean, Jimmy Haslam does have ties to the Mannings. So, I mean, he is a contributor to Tennessee. I believe he's an alum of Tennessee. So, I mean, he's going to have ties to the Mannings. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but those rumors are going to start coming out. Hey, the Browns get more draft capital. You know, the Arch Manning rumors are not going to stop. They're not going to stop this year. This is what it is. Getting back to Myles Garrett, yeah, I'm going to need some more draft capital. I'm going to need some more draft capital. We're going to need more than 1 first-round pick. Jared Verse, he's a sneaky good player. I know he's number 8 for the LA Rams. I've seen some games with the LA Rams last year. He's a heat-seeking missile. He's a good piece for the Cleveland Browns. He's younger than Myles Garrett. He's 25 years old. I'm not about to sit here and be like that he's a better player than Myles Garrett. He's absolutely not a better player than Myles Garrett. But for what this team needs right now in the youth movement that Andrew Berry has clearly stated, and by his transactions, he clearly trying to get this team younger. It makes sense. Now, for me, the next move is if this team is getting younger, are they going to do the drastic thing? Are they positioning to cut Deshaun Watson? I don't know, or trade him. I do not know. But are they positioning with this trade to, kind of empty the clip, so to speak? Are they going to trade Denzel Ward? Are they going to cut Deshaun Watson? Are they really in full tank mode? Are they really going to trade more assets? I don't know. But Andrew Berry did say he's going to be aggressive in 2027. If this isn't a sign that Andrew Berry means business, he's going to be aggressive in 2027. The Cleveland Browns do not mind being bad in 2026. I think they can be good, but it's like they might think that they're going to be bad and they're going to load up for 27, which I disagree with. But it would be nice for me. I'm not going to put it out there that you should tank. But at the same time, it's like you have an asset in Myles Garrett. And it's like you haven't done anything with Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett has gotten you the sacks. He broke the sack record and you won 5 games last year. It's like you could bring in somebody that's complementary to him, not as good as him, like Jared Verse. You get additional draft capital on top of that. It's like from a business aspect, it makes sense. From an emotional, team standpoint, a fan perspective, it's like, man, why you trading Myles Garrett away? I understand the frustration from our fan base. I understand it. I'm not going to tell anybody they shouldn't be upset about this transaction. I'm looking at it as a 42-year-old guy. I'm like, it makes sense business-wise to me. It's like you're trying to get younger, and you have an asset in Myles Garrett that can yield you a lot of return. And he really hasn't done. He hasn't done a lot of winning for you. Now I understand he's a defensive player. He's not a quarterback, but it's like you can get 2 or 3 first-round picks, and you trade away Myles Garrett, and you get Jared Verse, and you get a couple first-round picks out of the deal. It's not the worst thing, guys. I think a lot of Browns fans are going to be emotional. They're going to be upset about it. But like 2 months from now, 3 months from now, when all this thing is finalized, you're like, hey, man, we end up getting 2 first rounds. We got a 2028 second round and third round pick, and we got a lot for Myles Garrett. Now, here's the thing. Andrew Berry needs to hit on these picks. We don't know what the additional draft capital is. But think about this. Essentially for Travis Hunter, the Cleveland Browns got Mason Graham, they got Quinshon Judkins, they got Dylan Sampson, and they got the first round pick. They got Casey Concepcion. I mean, that's a big haul for Travis Hunter, and we don't even know what Travis Hunter is going to be. So you gotta look at it like, hey, yeah, we're gonna lose Myles Garrett. What are we going to get in return for Myles Garrett? It's gonna take a Keenan Ransom to try to replicate what Myles Garrett is, but if you can get another edge rusher, you can get maybe your quarterback of the future. I don't know. I still believe in Shedeur Sanders, but what I think and what Shedeur fans think doesn't really matter compared to what Andrew Berry and what Jimmy Haslam think. They might think, hey, this is our chance to get Arch Manning or another quarterback. It's like, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan first and foremost. I don't agree with that assessment, but I'm going to rock with my team no matter what. But don't get it twisted. I'm still a Shedeur guy. I've been a Shedeur guy for a couple years now. Been since junior year at Colorado. I believe in Shedeur. I believe that the Browns should have picked Shedeur with the number 2 overall pick. But like I said, I am not the Cleveland Browns. If I was the Cleveland Browns, I would have kept Myles Garrett. But obviously, they thought different. So, I mean, but I think, yeah, man, it's a tough day to be a Browns fan. But I'm looking at it from a logical, unemotional standpoint. I don't mind the trade, but I'm going to need to see what the additional draft capital is before I make a proper, full assessment of it. I'm definitely going to make another video when I find out what the additional draft capital is. But that's all I have for this one. KSK rolling out. Like, follow, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support. Peace.